Do you find yourself often spending 20, 30, 45 minutes endlessly scrolling trying to find a good horror movie to watch? This video is going to be the remedy for that. Hello scary movie lovers, you're watching the Nonstop Horror YouTube channel where we celebrate the genre all year long. My name is Cameron, and in this video I'm going to give you 10 of the best movies streaming on Shudder right now so you know what to watch tonight. In case you don't know what Shudder is, it's a streaming service for horror fans. Their entire catalog only consists of horror movies, so it's like a horror movie lover's playland, if you will. It's only $7 a month, and you can subscribe to it as a standalone service, or you gain access to it if you subscribe to AMC Plus as well, again as a standalone service, or you can even subscribe to them through Amazon Prime. And you can actually start a free trial if you use the link at the top of the description. If you find this video helpful at any point, do me a favor and slash that like button and subscribe if you also enjoy celebrating horror all year long. Let's get to the films. Late Night with the Devil is a supernatural horror film about a struggling talk show host who is trying desperately to climb the ratings charts. On Halloween night, 1977, he invites an allegedly possessed girl onto the show to try and boost ratings. They really nail the 70s aesthetic in this one, and it's going to top many best of 2024 lists. David Dastmalchian does an amazing job as the lead, and this is one of those films that's going to have many interpretations and is going to benefit from a rewatch or two. When someone asks for a legitimately scary movie, I always bring up House LLC, and it hasn't disappointed yet. In House LLC, a group of friends who run a traveling haunted house company decide to set up their next attraction in an abandoned hotel in Abaddon, New York. The crew thinks it's the perfect place for their haunted house because of the dark secrets the hotel holds. But once they get things set up, the true terror of the hotel is shown. The grimy aesthetic of House, along with its terrifying story, creepy clowns, and fun camera tricks, makes this a film that will have you sleeping with the lights on. Make sure to invite a friend over so you can both piss yourselves. The film spawned 3 sequels so far, I believe, and they're all on Shudder, so if you go down this rabbit hole, you'll be preoccupied for a bit, and the new installment in the franchise was just announced. It'll come out next year, and I am stoked. Starry Eyes was just added to Shudder, and it has similar themes to Ty West's X trilogy, where the main character is obsessed with becoming a star, becoming an actress in Hollywood, and the lengths that they'll go to get that stardom. Alexandra Esso stars as Sarah, a hopeful young starlet who uncovers the ominous origins of the Hollywood elite and enters into a deadly agreement in exchange for fame and fortune. Starry Eyes is a tragic and bleak story, so make sure that you're in the mood for that. I also got a kick out of the fact that the movie that Sarah auditions for in Starry Eyes is called The Silver Scream, which is the same name as the 2018 horror metal album put out by Ice Nine Kills. Sweet. Fun trivia for this movie: production was denied shooting permission at a Los Angeles bar after the script was read because the material was dubbed too evil. Viewer beware. You're gonna get occult and body horror vibes when you throw on Starry Eyes. Speaking of Ty West, House of the Devil is streaming on Shudder right now as well. I've said this a few times already, but I kind of find it hard to really enjoy a slow burn horror movie. I didn't really know whether to attribute it to a short attention span, or maybe I just wasn't smart enough to get slow burn horror, but I think I just had a streak of watching the wrong ones, because there are a few that I've watched recently that I really dig, and House of the Devil is definitely one of them. It's about a financially struggling college student who takes on a strange babysitting job because she needs the money. We've all been there, right? The night her services are requested coincides with a full lunar eclipse, and she soon realizes that her clients are harboring a terrifying secret, putting her life in mortal danger. The performances in this are what drew me in, and the dread and mystery are what kept me around. Greta Gerwig also stars in this. She's the director of Barbie, if that helps in your decision making in any way. Ty West was very intentional when filming The House of the Devil to make it feel and look like 70s and 80s splatter films, and they did a great job with that. Steven Yeun and Samara Weaving are the unlikely duo paired up as the leads in the next action horror flick, Mayhem. Steven Yeun obviously is from the Walking Dead franchise, and he was also in Nope, and Samara Weaving is in Ready or Not, and I'm sure at least a couple more horror films that are escaping my mind right now. Remind me what Samara Weaving is in down in the comments. If you want a lighthearted zombie flick that features undertones of the working class and climbing the corporate ladder, Tune into Mayhem. There's a virus spreading throughout a corporate office building that is making people act out on their wildest impulses. This happens the same day that Steven Yeun's character is wrongfully fired, and so he's got a lot of pent-up anger that is about to be amplified by the virus. Now trapped in the office building for at least 8 hours, he's got to fight for his job and his dignity. One thing that definitely stands out in Mayhem is the cinematography. There's a lot of cool scene transitions throughout the whole thing, and the way that Samara Weaving and Steven Yeun play off each other is phenomenal. Normally for a classic slasher, I'd recommend something like Halloween, which is streaming on Shudder if you want to revisit it. Alternatively, how about you watch the movie that inspired Halloween and so many slashers that came after? I'm talking about the 1974 classic, Black Christmas. Black Christmas is about a group of sorority sisters who get a creepy call from someone who claims that he's going to kill them all. At first they brush it off, but soon they realize that the threats were serious. This is an often overlooked slasher, and although it's Christmas themed, can be watched and enjoyed at any time. Remember, we don't gatekeep horror to any specific month around here. It's got a great tagline of "if this movie doesn't make your skin crawl, it's on too tight," which is funny, but some of these kills do have the potential to make your skin crawl. Any slasher fan should make sure that they watch Black Christmas at some point. Exhuma is an atmospheric Korean folk horror with major detective story vibes. Two men who specialize in grave plots are hired to move an ominous, potentially cursed gravesite, and due to the incompetence of others, dreadful consequences are unleashed. I think this is going to be the sleeper hit of 2024, and it's going to surprise many. I don't hear many people talking about it yet, but I think by the end of the year they will be. There are a lot of shocking moments and twists that just elevate this one to the next level. I'll admit it felt like two separate movies that were mashed together, but it is definitely still worth a watch. I'm gonna sing my praises for this movie until everybody in the world has seen it. Deadstream is such a good time, and you're doing yourself a disservice if you're skipping it. This is a found footage comedy horror flick where we follow recently canceled content creator Sean Ruddy as he embarks on his comeback tour. To win back the grace of sponsors and viewers alike, he decides to live stream his overnight stay at a haunted location. The practical effects on this are exquisite. It's the perfect mix of comedy and horror, and it feels like an honorable homage to the Evil Dead series. A charismatic, well-acted lead is what separates good horror movies from great horror movies, and Joseph Winter is the life of this movie in his portrayal of our main character, Sean. This is a breath of fresh air in the found footage circle. Revenge is a dish best served cold, and Nicolas Cage is serving up ice cubes. Don't put that in the video. That was dumb. If you watched Longlegs recently and you're itching for more Nicolas Cage, you should definitely check out Mandy. Now let me clarify, those are pretty much the only similarities between Longlegs and Mandy. It's just the fact that Nicolas Cage is in both of them. That's all you should expect. This balls to the wall, brutal film brings us the story of Red and Mandy, who are just enjoying their quiet time in their little cabin in the woods when a sick, sadistic cult decides to attack them and capture them. Mandy has a fabulous cast. Obviously, there's Nicolas Cage, but we also get Andrea Riseborough, who also starred in Possessor, which I watched recently. It's a psychological horror thriller, and I really enjoyed it. She's great in that, she's great in this. Olwen Fowler also stars in this film. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. She's a horror veteran, and she recently starred in The Watchers. Mandy feels like an art house film with some grindhouse thrown in, so it may not be everybody's cup of tea, but I'll let this review from IMDb sum up my feelings of the movie. David Lynch meets Hellraiser meets Rob Zombie. Absolutely accurate. So yeah, this is a revenge story about how this cult is brought to justice. Mandy is a heavy metal acid trip with plenty of blood and gore to go around. I knew I just had to include an anthology horror film on this list, and Scare Package is a no-brainer. Scare Package features 7 short horror films, and the overarching story is about Chad Buckley, a horror aficionado who runs a struggling video store. He takes on a new hire, upsetting a regular who apparently has been begging him for a job for years. Each segment of the anthology is presented as just being described to other characters, or as them watching a rental that's offered by the store. The film is filled with horror Easter eggs, plenty of homages to classic horror films, and it takes all of the horror tropes that you think you know and flips them on their head. If you like Scare Package, make sure to play the sequel right after for a fun, spooky double feature. Well, there you go, guys. 10 of the best horror movies currently streaming on Shudder. Shudder, personally, I think it's the best streaming service for all horror fans. Remember, you can use the link down in the description to start a free trial to Shudder or AMC Plus through Amazon Prime. And after your free trial, it's only $7 a month. The best bang for your buck when it comes to streaming services. If you found a helpful recommendation from this video, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. You've been watching the Nonstop Horror YouTube channel, where we never stop celebrating the best genre in the world. I'll see you in the next video, and remember to embrace the fear all year long.